Run! Run, I've got your back! I shouted to my sister. Beryl ran away by jumping right out the window. I locked the door to my room. Of course, it wouldn't hold up against those kinds of blows for long.
Amber, open the door! Open the door right now!
Judging by his tone, my father intended to tear the door off its hinges. No, she doesn't deserve to be treated that way. She's your daughter, just like me.
She's not my daughter. Open the door, Amber, and we'll talk.
I didn't open the door. I just sat down on the bed and braced myself. The lock snapped, and the door swung open, and my dad walked in red with anger. Hi, my name is Amber. This is the story of how my sister left the family 10 years ago and suddenly decided to come back. And now she's making it hard for us to live in peace. Beryl is a lot older than me, and I barely remembered her. Judging by the rare recollections from my parents and a lot of family photos, they loved her very much. Beryl was my father's pride. She got sports certificates and medals and could have gotten into the best sports college in Nevada. But that all changed when Beryl fell in love. He was the coolest guy in school, a real teen celebrity, a rocker named Duck. Raised in austerity, Beryl lost her head. Duck didn't forbid her anything, didn't make grand plans for the future, nor did he follow any rules. The only thing he wanted was a free life. I remember the day my sister disappeared. It was her 18th birthday. When I woke up, Beryl's room was empty. She didn't show up for a day, then a week, then a month. The police were constantly coming to our house, and my father and mother barely slept. Finally, Dad, heartbroken, decided to talk to me. Where's Beryl? When will she come back? I nervously rubbed my doll's hair.
She's not coming back. Your sister is dead to me.
My father's words were really harsh. It literally stunned me. She... I cried, unable to say the horrible death word.
Yes.
Dad was staring off into the distance, hardly able to hold back his tears. The naive little girl that I was took everything literally. At the time, I decided for myself that Beryl was dead. You have no idea how much I missed her. My parents tried not to talk about her, and they raised me differently from my sister. My father was softer to me. My mother tried to spoil me with gifts. I thought it was because they lost their beloved daughter, but soon our lives changed again. One day, on my way out of school, I noticed I was being followed. A strange girl, straight out of a TV show from the 2000s. Bright makeup, leather jacket, huge boots, the piercings, the tattoos. She scared me. She followed me closely, no matter how I increased my pace. When this stranger ran after me, I had only one choice. I turned around sharply, and my taser went off in my hands, and the stranger immediately fell to the ground. Get away from me, I threatened her with the taser again, but she just smiled weakly. You're really something, sis. The words pulled the ground from under my feet. I dropped the taser and sat down next to the girl. Beryl? Hi, Amber. She smiled and passed out. When she regained consciousness, Beryl told me why she was missing. Turns out all these years, my parents had been lying to me. Amber had given up sports to play in a rock band, which made my father furious. He said he would never let his daughter become a musician. So Beryl made the most radical life decision and left home to pursue her career. Please help me get in the house. I'll tell our parents everything, Beryl pleaded. How could I say no to her? When my parents returned from work and saw their eldest daughter at the table, Mom fainted immediately, and Dad's hair seemed to turn gray a little.
How dare you come to this house 10 years later?
I've never seen my father so angry. Dad, I can explain.
Get out! Get out of my house!
But this is my house too.
There's nothing here that's yours anymore.
That's enough, I shouted. You lied to me. You told me Beryl was dead. What? Beryl jumped up. What did you tell her? My father's anger evaporated. He hesitated and looked away, and it worked in my and Beryl's favor. I couldn't let her get kicked out. After a lot of arguing, my parents just gave up and allowed Beryl to come back to the family, just like she had asked. And then our whole life turned into a rock party. The very next day, my sister moved her stuff into the house, including her guitar, amplifiers, and huge speakers. The house filled up with the sounds of guitar riffs and bass. I was thrilled about it. My parents, however, did not seem to enjoy it. Then the house itself began to change, more specifically Beryl's room. The soft pink walls were now black. Instead of diplomas and medals, there were now posters in the room with creepy, hairy men in chains. Flowers replaced by artificial skulls and black candles. Beryl wandered around the house like a vampire princess, pale, with bright red lips and wearing black clothes. And the cringe that happened later on would definitely make you grit your teeth. Imagine a cozy living room, a large table set, flowers arranged, soft music playing. My parents were hosting the family of Dad's boss. Business-related conversations, intelligent tone. My parents are casually talking about their everyday lives and how their daughter Amber is doing so well in school. What a treasure she is. And then a deafening guitar roar comes from upstairs. The walls are literally shaking and everyone hears strange, devilish screams. The boss and his family are shocked, and my parents are burning with shame. Dad immediately went up to the room and started yelling at Beryl in a muffled voice, calling her a disgrace to the family. And that's when I felt bad for my sister. How could he say that? He'd already ruined her future. We decided to get back at them. Yes, the music stopped. But then we went downstairs to join the table, just as my father had asked. Except we showed up looking like rock stars, with flashy makeup and provocative outfits. You should have seen the boss's face. He was about to burst. We didn't have much fun, though. I ended up grounded. Beryl was beside herself. He ruined my career. I was trying to return to my family. She was in tears. I missed you, and I thought about you every day. And he said I was dead. Soon everything will be different. I won't let them kick you out again. I hugged my sister. Amber, it's not that simple. I thought he'd forgive me and help me with my career. I want to start my own band and play all over America. But I need money. Now he definitely won't give it to me. My dream is over, Amber. I won't get anywhere. No, I won't let that happen. I jumped up on my feet, full of determination. If he won't give you the money, I will. But how? I know the code to his safe. That same night, I collected my father's money and gave it to Beryl. Run, fulfill your dream. And that's where my story began. I thought for sure my father would put bars on my windows and prepared to be punished. But my father just sank down in the chair next to me and clutched his head.
Oh, what have you done, Amber?
He almost sobbed. And then my father told me the truth he'd been hiding for 10 years. Beryl never told him anything about wanting to be a musician. The only thing he forbade her to do was date Duck, who had a bad reputation. But as soon as Beryl turned 18, she packed her bags and ran away from home, going with Duck to Kansas, and then to Texas, and then all over the states. Dad tried to find her, sent letters into nowhere, whenever there was a lead of any kind. All he got in return were debt notifications. Since Duck and Beryl were burning through all the money, my sister didn't go to college and traveled across America with her boyfriend in desperate need of money. The last time Dad was even contacted by the court because Beryl had gotten into massive debts and put them on her father's record.
All she wants is our money,
Dad said bitterly.
Do you think I wouldn't have given it to her if Beryl needed it to pursue a career as a musician?
But that's what she said. I was getting hysterical.
She has learned how to lie well in 10 years.
She lied to me. We should call the cops.
You are family, Amber, and you gave the money away. This isn't a robbery.
My world fell apart. My sister came into my life for a few weeks, and then she was gone, after playing with my feelings like she was playing her guitar. The next few days dragged on like an eternity. My parents were in trouble because of the stunt that Beryl and I pulled off. There was no money to lead a normal life, all because of my naivety. When the doorbell rang, I thought these were the court marshals who came to take away some of our possessions. But there was Beryl on the doorstep. What do you want again? You took everything from us. Get out of here. I don't want to see you. I slammed the door and cried. Dad came down from his office right away and asked me what was wrong. When he opened the door, I was sure he was going to throw Beryl out. I can't do this anymore. My sister cried and threw her bag on the ground. It had all our money in it. I need your help.
You took our money, and now you're asking for help?
Daddy wasn't moved by her tears. Yes, please, save me from Duck. We let Beryl into the house, and she told us the truth. It all started the way my father told me. She ran away, and for a few years, she and Duck were happy. But their careless lifestyle quickly drove them into poverty. Duck wasn't planning on working anywhere, and he kept saying he was going to be a rock star and make millions. He promised Beryl the moon, and she worked all the jobs she could get while he hung out with his friends and called it rehearsals. To finally tie Beryl's hands, he married her, and his new debts became joint debts. His sister had to illegally put the debts on her father's name, but that didn't help. Beryl repeatedly tried to run away, but Duck insisted that they were family now and that no one else in the world needed her. When it came to a breaking point, Duck forced her to go back to Nevada and steal money from her mother. Otherwise, he promised to ruin Beryl's life. And she almost did. But after talking to us, she realized she couldn't do it. You can turn me into the police, but I'm not going back to him. Beryl lowered her head. I made a terrible mistake running away with Duck. Dad sighed heavily, and then he hugged Beryl tightly, telling her he wouldn't let her get hurt. As Duck had promised, he tried to pressure Beryl. He even followed her to Nevada, only there was a surprise waiting for him, the cops. For the account fraud that Duck had personally conducted, he was put on trial, and soon his marriage to Beryl was annulled. My sister was on the road to redemption, and now we live as a big happy family. Never be fooled by the bad guy's swagger, 'cause it's just a shell that hides complete emptiness. And before love makes your head spin, think about how this man will treat you in the future. Have you ever fallen in love with a bad guy? Write your answers in the comments. I'd love to read about them. Also, like and subscribe to the channel to see many more new stories.